Hey there, Bible buddies. I've got another Bible review for you today, and this one is somewhat of a rare edition. This is a World Publishing Company King James Version Bible from the 1960s, and it actually is in a genuine Morocco, which back then would have been goatskin. Even I know nowadays Morocco's one of those kind of contested terms, but back then it would have been a genuine goatskin. And this one, what makes it so unique is its size. You can see here that it's quite a bit smaller than my hand. I guess some might consider that a hand-sized Bible, but my hands are size large, so a little smaller than mine. I guess maybe an average hand or a medium-sized hand would be about hand size. But I'll give you the measurements here out the gate, just because its size is really what makes it so unique. And it's right about 4.5 inches wide, and about 6 5/8 inches tall, and then it's about 1.5 inches thick. Sorry, not 1.5 inches, an inch. Goodness, 1.125, maybe about 1 1/16 thick. Sorry about that. All right, let's get this roll out of the way. All right, so this is like I said, it's a World Bible, KJV, and you can see here it says Holy Bible in the front. There is a little perimeter line there. You see it on the edge. This is a Morocco grain, so you can see it's very nice and pebbly. It's very fine grained, which is great. There was a name embossed here, debossed or imprinted here on the front. I don't quite remember who it was, but whoever it was, thank you for your contribution to the Rusty Bibles channel. I did remove this only because I was hoping to just remove it, and I was hoping that the goatskin would hold up better than kind of the genuine leathers of the time, and it did hold up pretty well. You can see it got a little bit shiny just from the rubbing that I had to do to get this gold off. If I remember correctly, this gold was kind of a bear to get off. Usually what I do is I just kind of let a little, like an alcohol soaked Q-tip sit on the gold for a little bit, and that tends to loosen it up, and then I just go in with a Q-tip and kind of remove it gently. Again, any sort of abrasive action is your enemy. It'll actually start wearing away the grain, start wearing away the color, so just start causing a lot of problems. So you really want to rub it as little as possible. But this is one of my earlier attempts at removing gold names, so it got probably a little bit more rub than necessary. But we'll show the spine here. It says Holy Bible, Red Letter Edition and World. And on the back there's nothing. We do have a red undergold art gilt, and it is beautiful in this edition. Very shiny. A couple little nicks and scrapes here and there, but it's alright, given its age. There are 2 black ribbons on this edition. And they were knotted on the end. I glued the ends, like I've mentioned before I do in my videos. And these feel like they are silk ribbons. They don't feel like double-sided satin. They feel like very nice silk ribbons. They're very thick. So there are 2. So we'll go ahead and open it up. And we'll take a look at the liner here. The liner feels like it is also a leather liner. It's stamped here Genuine Morocco at the bottom. And you can see it's actually, well, there's the corner work that I was trying to show. But you can see it's like a paste down, but it does look like it's reinforced, or maybe edge line. I'm not even sure, but it's definitely reinforced here. You can see some kind of like reinforcement tape or something here. I don't know if it's edge line. I'm not sure about these older Bibles and their construction. But there's that. There's also a little perimeter line that goes across the edge here, right at the edge of the page. You might be able to see it. I'm not too sure. Now we'll take a look at the back. The back, oh, yep, there you go. It says leather lined. So it is leather lined on the front and back also. And then this feels like a paper. So I'm guessing the way the construction was, this is probably a sheet of leather here, and it tabs up here onto the block, and then they cover it with a piece of paper. I would imagine it's the same on the front. The leather tabbed up and then covered with paper to kind of seal it in. So go ahead and we'll open it up. You can see here, now eat your eyes out. I love these old prices, but you can see here somebody marked at $12.50. At some point this would have gone for $12.50, I would imagine. Nowadays, maybe if you get lucky, you can find one for $12.50. I paid not too much for this one, but definitely more than that. I'll go here for the first couple blank pages. And there's a presentation page. And then you have the title page here, the Holy Bible, containing the Old and New Testaments. I'll go ahead and let you take a look. It's got a little bit of some designy stuff there. Turn the page. There's the copyright information, however minimal it is. Then you have the books of the Bible. And a pronunciation key. And then it gets right into it. The first book of Moses, called Genesis. Now this font does look small on camera, but it's not too bad. It's an 8-point font. I measured it out to be versus the Times New Roman. So certainly it's a smaller font by today's comparisons. I think most fonts nowadays tend to be around 9 point, but this isn't too terrible. So, not too terrible. And, the paper being as opaque as it is, makes for a much easier read. You can see it's a double column verse by verse, as is kind of standard for King James Bibles of the era. They have the chapter designators. Then they do the book and the chapter number here, page numbers in the middle, and then they have just a brief little descriptor here about kind of what's going on the page. Outside of that, there's no footnotes, there's no references. So this, I guess, would be maybe more like a reader edition for King James fan. I don't remember if it is overcast stitched. I don't believe it is. I'll go ahead and flip through a little bit. Let me get it open here as best I can. You can see that wonderful red art gilt on the sides. Now, one thing that I found particularly interesting with this edition is that for whatever this paper is, it's very smooth, but it's smooth, but like you can tell that it's porous. And because of that, I guess the ink didn't set too well, so there are quite a few page smudges throughout this one. Not enough to be distracting, but it's certainly enough to kind of notice it when they pop up. Now I do a librarian break-in whenever I get one of these old editions, a very gentle librarian break-in. And what I found works best for me, I use one of these. This is like a little cheap clear plastic ruler. And what I do is, as I'm breaking it in, kind of in the standard way, you can look it up on YouTube, or maybe I'll make a video of how to do it in the future. But you basically, when I do it, I basically put this on to kind of protect the pages as I'm pressing down on them so my fingers don't smudge the ink. Some of these older editions had water-based ink, and sure enough, the moisture from your hands will cause the ink to bleed or rub off or whatever. So just as a precaution, I use this and kind of apply pressure as I'm kind of breaking it in. Just an aside there, a little helpful hint. So we'll go over to Psalms. You can see Psalms. No poetic setting, nothing like that. Wonderful paper though, beautifully white. I don't think that this one was read, if at all, because it is in outstanding shape. I really lucked out finding this one. Here you go, we get into the New Testament. Let's check and see if there's anything between the Testaments. So the end of the prophets there, and then the intro page to the New Testament. And we go into Matthew. Go to 4 and 5, so 5 and 6, so you can see all the red. Sorry. So this is a red that's pretty standard for World Bibles. If you're familiar with World Bibles from this era, they all tend to have this sort of ultra red they use here. They hadn't quite hammered it down to something that isn't quite so offensive. But if you're a fan of red letter, this is a red letter text. If you are not a fan of red letter, then I am sorry. This is what there is. So have a look at this red letter in all its glory. We'll go through the last little bit here. And we'll see if there's anything in the back. I find that like on pages where it's saturated with a ton of red, the red looks very vibrant, and on pages where there's not so much red, it tends not to be so offensive. So let's go to the back here. Got some little extras. I don't think there's very much. But like here's Revelation, and there's just a little bit, and it doesn't seem so incredibly bright. It actually looks pretty nice back here. So again, on the pages where there's not very much, it's not so strong. And this I love when they do this. They put the summaries of the books. Sorry, this is summaries. The brief summary of the characteristics of the books. Yeah, the summary of the books. They put them here in the back, so it's a little easier, I guess, to flip back, so that way the biblical text isn't interrupted. And I prefer that just so it's kind of set away from the biblical text. And you have a clear page, a blank page. Actually, you have several blank pages here. A little handful of them, not very many. I'll run over a few pages there, just in case you want to take some notes. And then that's it. No maps, nothing else like that. There is a little code here in the back. I will show you right quick. And it looks like it says 655. It was kind of cut off there. And then there's also a 690J. So I don't know if this was produced in the 6th month of 1955 or if this was produced in the 9th month of 1960. I have no idea. So it's either in the 50s or in the 60s. Either way, Bibles from this era tend to be outstanding, both in quality and, construction. So, great little edition here. Great little pocket edition, I would imagine. somebody would enjoy this. So here it is. Ta-da! I did want to compare it to a Pit Minion, so I'm going to pull one over here right quick, and you can see as far as the size comparison, you have a Pit Minion here, which is kind of a standard smaller Bible that's produced nowadays. We'll turn it to the side here so you can see both lined up on the edge there, and you can see it's quite a bit smaller than a Pit Minion. It's got about a ½ inch here on both sides. Yeah, about ½ inch. And then it's a little thicker than a Pit Minion. I think a Pit Minion is just beneath an inch, and this is just over an inch. It's a little bit thicker than a Pit Minion. But a great addition nonetheless, especially if you're looking for something smaller, more compact. I don't know how much luck you'll have on eBay finding these. I've only seen a couple of them. I think Matthew Everhart did a video on one that he had. And this is, I think, maybe one of like 2 that I've ever seen on eBay. Not very many. So who's to say? Happy hunting, I guess. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff down below. Otherwise, until next time, Bible buddies, bye.